Morning lads, we are going for a morning run indeed. I am exploring the area around Regent's Park. I suppose this is university property, so I should be allowed to be here. Just walking around a bit, trying to figure out where I'm at. I'm near a mathematical institute right now. Okay, I think this is the wrong entrance. I'll go through another entrance, but it's bloody freezing right now. I'm not sure you can see it, but I do indeed have smoke is coming out of my mouth. There's steam is coming out, but it is quite cold here, so pretty chilly in it. It's pretty nice, good exercise. So we're currently in the part of a town called Jericho. It's quite a nice neighborhood. There's quite a lot of real estate here. A few grills, a few restaurants, and a few how do you call it? A few dineries and breakfast joints. Some still don't know the name for it. Some cafes, that's the correct word. It's quite a nice day out. It's really beautiful. The sky's really blue. I'm not sure we can see it behind me. The sky's really nice. Quite chilly, but apart from that, it's pretty decent. You can see this University Oxford blueprint everywhere. Behind me is also another Oxford building, so it's really nice. Just Jericho Place is pretty good, pretty decent, quite close to Regent. So that could be an area where you could think about second year living. See how it goes. I also saw some houseboats yesterday on my run, so I would bring you past those and I'll talk a bit more about it. As you can see, we're on a very nice, beautiful grass plain here on our run. Pretty decent. I'm not exactly sure where we are. It's a park. Yes, last night when we came here it was absolutely pitch black, so we decided not to come in. But in the morning, it's really beautiful. It's a really massive park. You see all the way down there, all the way down there, all grass. So I'll run around it, and I'll come back and I'll head down to the boats and I'll show you around that. Hello lads, we're on a bridge called Aristotle Bridge. As you can see, everything is really historical or philosophically motivated around here. You can see the train tracks are behind me over there. Pretty decent. I mean, I'm probably heading into London midweek to watch some football. So see how that goes. I can continue my run and I'll bring you to where I promised the boats. And after the boats, you'll head back to Regent's Park College. As you can see, behind us is one of those houseboats I was talking about. That houseboat is essentially a place where people can live or rent, I think. I'm not really sure. Those need to be a bit motorized and they could go up and down the river. You live in them. You can see some ducks next to the river. You can see the river and canal behind it. It's a bit muddy and a bit murky. I've been trying to keep my eye out for fish in the banks. I haven't seen any yet, so maybe I'll go somewhere else for fishing for the first time at least. But as you can see here, it's really nice. You see some ducks right behind me over there, and another houseboat over there. So that's quite nice. Quite a lot of cyclers out right now, just kind of going around the place doing their stuff and doing some exercise again to work, I suppose. And then you can see, of course, another houseboat behind me. So that's kind of it for the morning running tour. Now I'm back on my way to Regent's again. It's quite a murky river, so I wouldn't be expecting that many fish in there, I suppose. I'm not sure, I haven't seen any fish in there yet. I might try, but I don't think really there is going to be much fish here. I could come back with some bread, but that might not be the best idea because, you know, when it comes to bread, that might not be really the best. But here you see, this river goes quite a long way down to city centre and beyond, but I wouldn't go down there. I'm going to run back to Regent's Park and I'll see you in a bit. Hello lads, and welcome to vlog 2 of Vlogs in the Dark. We are currently in the dark. As you can see, we've just left a nightclub. If you're interested in more of these authentic Freshers events experiences, and feel free to indeed join the channel and stay tuned, and we will definitely get that fixed for you. The lighting isn't great, but it is what it is. I mean, this is part of the authenticity. You want to understand how it's like to be a fresher in Oxford, or the darkness, the lights of the club. That's all something that you might want to know, and something you might want to experience. So in this video, I've actually already left the club. I'll show you some videos of the club itself. I'll talk a bit more about clubbing in Freshers Week in Oxford, and kind of the pressures or the non-peer pressures that you might face. And of course, Oxford's a different university than other universities out there. Of course, each university is going to have their different pressures and their different ideas and their different kind of struggles, I suppose, if you were there. But I personally do believe that Regent's Park, at least where we're at, is very, very comfortable. It's very relaxed. No one really pressures you to do anything. I have good friends who don't go clubbing at all, and I have friends who do go clubbing, right? I was in the club and I was chatting to a few of the lads. Those were nice. A few of the Eton lads was pretty decent to know, and I enjoyed that quite a lot. But it really depends on kind of your culture and the kind of experience of the place now, and it really depends on where you are. You might want to do a bit of research on your specific college or your specific university, but most of the times there are no pressure. There is no kind of that idea, that urge that you must go clubbing or you must drink or something like that. No, it's fine. I have friends who do not drink, who do not get pressured at all. It's very respectful, and that's really, really nice, and that's something you want to keep out on. That's something that is asked quite a lot. I go to the club not necessarily because I want to socialize or actually go to the club or anything like that. I just want to experience how it is, and also go there to kind of dialogue what actually it is like in the clubs. I find it like a very profound experience to go to a club and really figure out, well, what actually is the reason for why people go clubbing a lot. And that's why I end up to the club sober, and I leave the club sober as well. I didn't drink anything at all. Had 2 tequila shots, but apart from that, and a Corona beer, but apart from that, it was all good. Now, right now, I'm actually not exactly sure where we are, and I think we're right outside Westgate, if you see behind me. I've talked a lot about Westgate, but I actually haven't shown you around Westgate. It's a bit too late and too dark to show you around Westgate, I suppose. However, it is a bit different situation. It is a bit brighter around here, of course. There is a bus behind me down the road over there, but it's fine. I'm not going to get run over. But as you can see, Westgate's very dark right now. We're going to go past St. Peter's on the way back. You see there's a lot of different places you can head over in Westgate, and it's something quite interesting, you know. You see there's a Comptoir Lebanon, Flavors of Lebanon. It's a decent joint. I went there the other day. That was quite nice, and of course Westgate's behind. It's quite a big shopping centre, as I've said. It's quite a nice place to go to. If you're interested in me going to individual colleges and actually figuring out how it is like in that college, and feel free to let me know. I have to do that for you as well. I mean, you might be interested in how it's like in St. Peter's or something like that, then let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to find that for you. But of course, if you're interested, you should subscribe, and of course help support my channel out as well, because, you know, I'm not making anything off this. This is completely for free to help you kind of understand more about the college experience in Oxford and maybe universities around the world, and maybe this will be helpful for you, right? So you want to make sure that you're making the most of this experience, right? And as a result, we will be just kind of spending the rest of this series just going over Freshers Weekend, telling you things that you might want to watch out for. And of course, things to watch out for is, of course, peer pressure and things. And I know I have indeed said that these stuff don't happen too much. And of course, although there are always going to be some peer pressure, it's never something which is really, really strong. You do want to make sure that you do understand that you don't have to do anything, really. So now that you've looked at the clubbing scenes, I hope you found it quite interesting. It's quite an interesting situation, you know, when in the club it's like people do different stuff, people are a bit crazy, and it's quite fun, you know. I mean, personally, I'm not much of a clubber myself, but I slowly develop that appreciation for why some people might like clubbing, and that's something which suits you. You know, you might like clubbing, you might not like clubbing, but it's really up to you. The reason why I left earlier, instead of staying up till 3, it's currently 1:30 a.m, is because I have a lecture or induction tomorrow, so I have to have a lesson at 10, I think. So I don't want to be too crazy, too wasted for that, or too tired for that. I want to be awake, so I'm heading back earlier so I could take a shower, and that would be quite good. And that's something you might want to think about going into Freshers Week. Less so about actual what you're going to be doing, about the logistics of what you're going to be doing. For example, are you going to be showering in the morning, showering in the afternoon? When are the showers going to be most free? Of course, if you're in Bath and it's an ensuite campus, and that might be a bit different. But if you are indeed going to the campus and it's not actually ensuite, then well, maybe you want to be judging that as well. So that's something you want to keep in mind. Now, before we carry on, I'd like to show you a bit about the sponsors of this video, which is actually myself. Let's get right into it. This video is sponsored by Logos Education. Logos Education is something that I've set up to provide affordable and high quality college admissions courses to everyone to get into their dream universities, both in the UK and the US. We have courses ranging from the UCs, the Common App, UCAS and Oxbridge, and also interview courses to help you along the way. Feel free to use the discount code of LOGOS to get a 10% discount off all purchases on the website. Stay safe, and let's get on with the video. Alright, so now that you've heard from the sponsors, I'd like to end off with talking a bit about the security in Oxford. Now, this might be something you're worried about or not worried about when you're going to Oxford. At least I feel Oxford's a very safe place. I mean, I don't mind walking around at night alone. Now, of course, if you're a girl or you might feel a bit less comfortable. However, it's generally quite bright, all the streets, despite the fact that, of course, it seems a bit dark on camera. It's quite bright. You can see down the street. It's not everything too shady. Of course, if you go down to Portsmeadow or some other areas where it is a bit darker, then maybe you should be a bit more careful. However, it's generally quite good. Now, you could say, well, the homeless problem is quite a big problem, and that's right to some degree because, well, in reality, there is quite a lot of a homeless problem, especially in near central Oxford, there is a bit more of a problem. Apart from that, it's generally all right. You should feel quite safe here. It's definitely not going to be something where you feel like you're in Harlem and you're going to get jumped all the time. But it's generally quite safe, so you shouldn't need to worry too much about that. Of course, there are always going to be, in every circumstance, areas where it can be a bit dangerous, and you should keep that in mind and keep that in sight so that you don't lose track of that and do something stupid. However, as I said, it is generally quite safe. We're next to Gloucester Street. I really don't know how to pronounce these, but it's quite nice. It's really beautiful over here. See you in a bit.